Hello everyone, Tina Gale back with my fourth process video. I hope you're enjoying them. I really appreciate all of the comments, and when you click the like button, it really means a lot to me. So this is my third layout that I'm completed with the Paper Chameleon November kit, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really helping me to get my layouts done quicker, because I feel like I need to hurry up and quit piddling like I like to. This one I did move around the little pieces of paper and the labels and stuff quite a bit, simply because I did have a lot that I was tucking in behind that photo, so I was trying to get it really balanced. But I'm pleased with how it turned out. So the papers on the background are from the Maggie Holmes Open Book Collection. And then you'll see those little gold vellum pieces that I've been cutting little bits off here and there, and I'm still using them, still have some left to use. There may end up being a piece of gold vellum on every layout that I do for this month's kit. That's the 3x4 card, which you'll see later. I cut some of it off. One of the things that I did when I started was just pull out all of the embellishments and the papers that I thought would go well with the photo and the background papers that I had chosen. So that little cluster at the top, that's an example of when I start pulling things and I'll have an idea of how they could create a cluster together. Then I just go ahead and kind of stick them down like that little banner piece. I kind of temporarily adhered it to the other label, and then the pinked circle, that's the rose pattern. And then I put that little speech bubble paper clip over the top of it so that it was all stuck together. If you notice, when I first put it down, it had a different circle on it, and it was the same background color, so I had to just switch that out. But that's one way that I kind of get organized for a layout when I'm pulling things out. And just like that little flare on that circle, the Flair is from my stash. I think it's from an old Studio Calico kit. But I knew that I wanted it on that circle embellishment, so that was really great. And you'll see here I pull those Amy Tangerine foam word thickers. I've tried every layout to get those on because I just absolutely love them, and I haven't used them yet. So I am determined on the next layout. I think I'm going to design it around one of those word stickers so that I can use them. So I'm just playing around with these tags. You'll notice the baker's twine that I tied in those were actually from the little thank you gift that I got in the Paper Camellia kit, thanking me for subscribing. So I just used the baker's twine. It really worked out great. That little clip that I'm playing with is something from my stash, and I've tried to put it in several layouts and it's just not worked. This stamp set is the Simple Stories DIY, the journal stamp set. I've used it on the other layouts as well. It's just got some really great phrases that work well with the layouts I've been doing with my family photos. So I just took off all of the words that I kind of wanted to use and then started stamping them on the different tags, the journaling block, that little label there. I just fit them in wherever they would fit, and got in all the different little words and phrases that I wanted to do. And I should mention that I am using a Page Maps sketch. I actually found it on the Back Porch Memories blog, and they're doing a challenge with that sketch, and so it worked really well with my photos. It actually had two smaller photos, but I'm using one big one. And it had a large circle in the background, but instead I'm using that little gold metallic circle embellishments, kind of like a little embossed wreath. So I'm using that for my circle. And it had a wider strip of paper going to divide your two background papers. But I decided to use that camera strip that I so strategically cut from my paper on the last layout. So I was really happy to use it on here, even though much of it didn't show. And then on these labels, that pink and that blue, I kept switching them back and forth, trying to decide where they needed to go. I was afraid with the pink next to the pink that it would be too much. but since they're two different tones, it really worked better like that, and then that teal one in between, because then that teal is diagonally offset from the other teal sticker, so it helped really balance the embellishments out, I think. Now I just adhered that gold camera clip to the top of the pink label that I had stamped on. And then I'm going to adhere the little brads, the fabric covered brads. I had a pink one with a kind of the peachy gold heart in the center. So I put it up into that circular embellishment. And I'm just using my piercing tool from close to my heart to poke my hole and get that set. And then on this one, that Flair, like I said, it came, I think, from a Studio Calico kit, if I'm not mistaken. And then the little blue brad, I think it is from an older kit as well. And it's funny, that little jackalope, I had no idea where I was going to use that on a layout, how I was going to use it. But it actually works quite well with this layout. It's not real noticeable. It's not anything that your eye is drawn to. But it's another one of those 3 clusters, 3 repetitions where you have the gold there and the gold in the embossed circle, and then that gold clip at the top creates that triangle where your eye just keeps going through the layout and around the photo, so that it draws your eye into the photo where I want it to. And then the kit included these wood veneer hearts in 3 different sizes, and so I just used those to help finish out the clusters, using the different sizes in them. And then I pulled out the enamel dots from my stash, and I just went through and pulled out any of the colors that would match in my color scheme, which is that pink to the peach color, gold, and then a touch of that teal. And so anytime that I'm finishing up a layout, the enamel dots are usually one of the last things that I go to, just to finish out the clusters and the layout, to have that repetition and to make sure that my colors are balanced throughout the layout and throughout the clusters. So I always try to have 3 different sizes in 3 areas, and even the clusters, normally you kind of have a large cluster, a medium, and then a small cluster. And that's really about all I did. I used my liquid glass on the wood veneers and some of the enamel dots, because it's really frustrating to go back in an album and look and you have enamel dots floating at the bottom of the page or whatever. So the liquid glass really holds strong to any of those small things. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. Be sure to leave me a comment, or if you don't have time for a comment, click the thumbs up or the like sign if you're on YouTube. Be sure to join me at my blog, tiggerscrapplace.blogspot.com. You can find me on Facebook at My Scrappy Ideas, and subscribe to my YouTube channel here under Tigger's Teachin', so that you don't miss out anything. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again real soon. I'll include some still shots at the very end so that you can see close-ups and the finished layout. Thanks.